If you loved Shrek, then Puss in Boots was your show. It featured a few of the folklore characters like Humpty Dumpty, Jack and Jill, and also Jack and the Beanstalk. But this particular series focused on a sheriff cowboy cat who had a strong sense of justice and was the Batman of his town. Today we shall discuss the characters that recurred in the show, and we shall see their features and personalities. Then we shall talk keenly about the gorgeous people behind their voices, who they are, how they live, and exactly how old they are 13 years later in 2024. There was this cat who only went by the name Puss in Boots, and was known to have a strong sense of justice to the oppressed and the weak who could not defend themselves. He was like Robin Hood or even Batman, but what differentiated him from other heroes is that he was sometimes greedy, but most of the time was selfless. Just like you adopted your cat, Puss was also adopted by his owner, a woman known as Imelda, who we shall discuss later, and was raised to be a kind and respectful lad towards everybody. He was just like a normal house cat and wanted to receive love and affection from his owner. He licked himself clean and also suffered from recurring hairballs just as a normal cat. This furry warrior was voiced by the magnificent Antonio Banderas, who is a well-known Spanish actor. He is featured in so many Spanish and American movies, but his most iconic roles were in The Mask of Zorro of 1998 and the 1995 movie called Desperado. He also featured in Once Upon a Time in Mexico of 2003 and the Spy Kids franchise. Fun fact is that Antonio is a fan of Malaga Football Club in La Liga and is currently 64 years old. Friar Miller was not such an important character in the show, but was seen here and there doing this and that. Anyways, he was in the show and was voiced by Chris Miller, who is an American animator and director. Chris started in the DreamWorks animation studios, then was hired by Paramount Animations, where he currently directs and offers voiceovers to its characters. He was both in the Shrek animations and also in Puss in Boots. He has been an animation guru since his teenage years, where he studied at the California Institute of Arts. He is a 56-year-old man today. A beautiful cat named Kitty Softpaws was an outlaw in the show, and was somehow seen to be of love interest to Puss in Boots. She had that iconic Spanish accent and was clean and well-groomed. Due to her cute nature, she had a way of manipulating others into doing what she wanted and never fell under pressure from others. She was cunning and clever, and can be compared to Catwoman in Batman. Her name, Softpaws, was given to her because she had a way of stealing something without people knowing, and was like a ninja. She was voiced by Salma Hayek, who is a Mexican actress and producer. She started in telenovelas, then went big in Hollywood, and also featured in Once Upon a Time in Mexico with Antonio Banderas. We also heard her voice in Sausage Party of 2016 and also saw her in the comedy show called Grown Ups. She is so talented in both the voicing and acting department, is a strong believer in Jesus Christ, and is currently 58 years old. Now let's meet a cat who is always seen reacting to embarrassing and surprising moments in the show. I don't think we ever heard him speak a whole sentence. His role in this show was to be an additional comic and iconic character, and his reactions has been used as memes in today's social media era. He lived in a cat rescue home and was always wearing mittens. This guy was voiced by Bob Persichetti, who is an American filmmaker and animator. If you saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Bob was the co-director. He has done some artistic storyboards on Shrek, Flushed Away, The Little Prince, and also Monsters vs. Aliens. Born in 1973, he has been in the filming industry since 1997 and is currently 51 years old. Humpty Alexander Dumpty was the brother to Puss in Boots, adoptive brother to be more precise, who was an egg with a human face and wore a red shirt with yellow buttons. He was among the villains in the show, and was seen to be very clever as he was able to invent extraordinary devices of destruction. He was manipulative and a backstabber, and was seen framing Puss for crimes he did not commit. Humpty was so emotional and was shown to hold grudges, to pity things, and was not so easy to forgive. He was voiced by a funny man called Zach Galifianakis, who is an American comedian and actor. I remember him best in his show called Between Two Ferns, where so many celebrities featured, and also in the Hangover trilogy of 2009. He was born in North Carolina from Greek lineage and practices the Greek Orthodox faith. He is also a farmer and focuses on the two jobs. Zach is married to one beautiful woman, is blessed with two beautiful sons, and is 55 years old today. Jack and Jill were popularly known as the infamous outlaws who were married to each other and were responsible for helping Humpty Dumpty in being antagonists to the show. They were untitled in Life of Crime and appeared to be so brutal and violent. However, Jack kinda had a nice side, as he always told Jill that they should settle down and raise a child together. But Jill always refused the idea, as she wanted to stay in the life of crime instead. They were greedy all along and always backstabbed anyone for their selfish gains. Anyway, they had a peaceful relationship as husband and wife and lived quite a happy life. Jack was voiced by Billy Bob Thornton, who is an American film actor and filmmaker. Billy has always struggled with dyslexia, which also affected him in his academic years back in the day. And even though he was not good in class, he flourished in basketball and even signed for the Kansas City Royals, which later released him due to an injury he picked. He is allergic to wheat and dairy and follows a strict vegan diet. Generally, he is still healthy as of now and is 69 years old today. Jill, on the other hand, was voiced by Amy Sedaris, who is an American actress and comedian. For the Star Wars fans, we recently saw her in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett playing the role of Peli Motto. But even before that, we saw her in Made in Manhattan of 2002, and also heard her beautiful voice in Chicken Little and the Lion King parody of 2019. She has had a perfect career ever since she was young, and right now she is running a cupcake business in her retiring age of 63. Puss and Humpty Dumpty had an adopted mother called Imelda, who, according to Puss, was an angel of kindness and love. She had an orphanage which was full of orphans like Puss. She loved all of her kids, but sometimes was tough when it came to disciplining them. She never supported the fact that Humpty and Puss were rivals, and always tried to unite them. She was actually the one who gave Puss his boots as gifts when he was young. This angel was voiced by the iconic Constance Marie, who is an American actress. She rolled as Regina in the series called Switched at Birth, and has appeared in multiple shows since. She started her career when she was in her prime, and debuted in the 1988 film called Salsa. I personally don't know much about her love life, but I know that she has a daughter who she currently raises alone. She is a proud vegetarian and is 59 years old today. Do you remember the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, where Jack sold the cow in exchange for some bean seeds? Well, Andy Beanstalk was the man responsible for handing over the beans to Jack. He was later thrown in jail, where he was currently serving his time. He was kinda stupid because his shackles were not tightened to his wrists, meaning he could have escaped if he wanted to. He actually slipped his hands free once in the show, but he never seemed to notice. He was sort of funny and was voiced by Mike Mitchell, a man who is an American actor, director, and animator. Some of his iconic works can be seen in Alvin and the Chipmunks, SpongeBob Out of Water, Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, and so many, many more. A talented man he is, and his roles has been seen multiple times. And just at 54 years of age, he still has a number of years to bless our eyes with his beautiful art. It's been an honor to make this episode. Make sure to like the video for the flow, and I'll see you in the next one.